Today I'm meeting Bradford Smith, the third person in the world to receive Neuralink's brain-computer interface to control computers using only his mind, and the first who relies on it to speak somewhat telepathically. I'm here at his home in Gilbert, Arizona, where he lives with his wife Tiffany and their 3 children, Lincoln, Edison, and Abigail. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Briar.
Okay, I'm Edison.
Nice to meet you, Edison. How are you? Good.
Hi, Briar.
Hi, Tiffany.
How are you?
Very nice to meet you. Really nice. Thanks for having me round.
Oh, yeah, for sure. This is our son, Edison.
Edison.
And Lincoln.
Lincoln. Nice to meet you, Lincoln.
Abigail's somewhere around here.
Amazing.
She'll show up at some point.
She'll show up, exactly.
But Brad's in this way.
Amazing.
He's excited to meet you. Let's go meet Brad. He's just in this way.
Sounds good.
I'm here for decoration.
Brad lives with late-stage ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, a rare terminal disease that slowly steals the body's ability to walk, speak, eat, and eventually breathe on their own. Yet their minds remain sharp, fully aware of what is happening. When his lungs began to fail in 2020, and he technically died 3 times, Brad made a decision, one that many people in his position don't. He chose to keep breathing. Through a tracheostomy and a ventilator, he decided to keep living for his family and, well, maybe for something more.
Hey, Brad, Briar made it.
So nice to meet you. So nice to meet you. Thanks for having me round.
He's slow sometimes, you know. The technology is amazing, but
Thank you.
It still takes a minute to switch from one thing to the other. But you're kind of familiar with this. You just haven't seen it on for communication.
Yeah.
So that's it's kind of exciting. It makes it a little bit more interesting, I guess.
I am fat and lazy.
Not at all. I love the fact you've got such a good sense of humor, Brad. As I spend time with Brad and his family, I want to understand not just what ALS has taken, but who Brad was before this disease changed everything for their family. What were his dreams, his joys, the life he and Tiffany built together? How did they navigate the relentless progression of ALS? And what pushed them to consider an experimental brain implant? I want to know what it felt like when Brad first heard his own voice again through AI. Not the robotic tone, but the familiar sound that his children remember. And beyond Brad's story, what does it mean for all of us when a person can merge mind and machine? Could brain-computer interfaces transform how we face terminal illness? Or even change what it means to be human?
You didn't expect to need this kind of technology, but then when you meet it, it's really nice that it's here.
I worked as a speech-language pathologist in university, and so worked with a lot of children that had disabilities, and it was really interesting to think like back then the kind of tech that we used to use and how we used to communicate. To be honest, there wasn't a lot of technology. We used to use a lot of cards and
like
things
just
like
pet
this.
Type of. So our daughter is 8, and she didn't really start speaking until she was 6. And so she has a device she uses for communication as well. But it's, you know, you figure out ways to do it, but it's less efficient than what you and I can do with our speech.
Totally.
But it's effective. So Brad actually worked with the Neuralink crew, and he with the Insta360 camera. And so they've got that connected so he can control it with the Neuralink as well. So he can, obviously he can't turn his head. He can't move anything. So he has a hard time turning his head to watch the kids or do something at the park, but they've hooked up the camera. It's just like that he can use that for his eyes to look around and see behind him.
So whereabouts is this camera? Oh, it's right here. Oh, it's coming to me.
You're a star. So it goes all the way around, and he can visualize what all is happening around him. So it's kind of nice.
I bet that would have felt like a game changer for you, Brad, being able to see so much more, and definitely the kids playing and enjoying themselves, because they're quite into swimming as well, I was hearing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we live in Arizona. How can you not
Everything
be-
happening feels huge, but I'm just here plotting my next witty comeback.
He actually thought of the camera idea when we were at one of Lincoln's soccer games.
Seeing the kids play is the real game changer, but I'm still waiting for my MVP trophy.
Tell me about your life before ALS, before Neuralink, before having to use all of this technology. What was your life like?
I am just your friendly neighborhood cyborg. I was pretty unremarkable outside my network until Neuralink put a computer in my brain. I am Brad Smith. I was born in California and grew up in Park City, Utah. I lived in a ski resort town, so I skied every Saturday during the winter. I have been married for about 16 years to Tiffany, the best person I've ever known. We have 3 kids, and we are just trying to figure out how to follow Jesus Christ. How did I meet Tiffany? I met Tiffany through her father. I started working at the Salt Lake Temple with my parents. My first week there, a man approached me and said, "I have 3 endowed daughters." He then listed off their talking points, specifically that one had jazz tickets.
Oh.
I was 28, so I was willing to give anyone a try. The next week, he tracked me down and handed me an envelope full of photos. But the photos were all pre-digital, so they were at least 10 years old. But despite the antics, we went on a semi-blind date, and the rest is history.
Yeah,
She is amazing and cares deeply about things that really matter, and not at all about things that don't matter. I was just a normal entrepreneurial guy before ALS. I found a love of fast-growing company life at Skullcandy. I loved the operation side of the fast-growing business, so I tried to find that again after Skullcandy. I spent some time helping with different business ideas, from SaaS to Bluetooth and golf shoes to Shopify. I moved to Arizona for a company with Tiffany's cousin. It was more than a coincidence that I went to the same hospital for ALS that Neuralink would use a few years later.
ALS, or amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, is a rare terminal neurodegenerative disease that attacks the nerve cells controlling movement. As these motor neurons die, the brain loses its ability to communicate with the muscles, leading to progressive paralysis. Renowned physicist Stephen Hawking lived with ALS for decades, bringing global attention to the disease. There's still no cure, and average life expectancy is just 2 to 5 years after diagnosis. For families like Brad's, ALS means watching a loved one fade physically while their thoughts and emotions stay trapped inside. What was it like when you found out that you had ALS?
ALS obviously affected my life. It took me from young and productive to a vegetable in just 2 years. It was faster than most car loans. It was a fast and slow decline. Every day something changed. It is not describable how it feels to lose control of your body. Can I just say that ALS really sucks? My mother doesn't like that word, but even she allows me to use it to describe this stupid disease.
Fair enough.
I have full control of my brain, but I have no control of any muscles except my eyes. It has taken my ability to hug my wife or kids. I get to watch my kids grow up, but I can't play with them or to have a spontaneous conversation with them. Technology has kept me from going completely crazy. Eye-Gaze computers are a miracle, but so frustratingly slow. But they do a good job filling the boredom of lying around doing nothing. I was a doer before ALS. Before Neuralink, I spent a lot of time trying to keep my brain active. I watched a lot of YouTube videos and imagined different things I would do. I started a few companies and run them from my Eye-Gaze computer. They don't make any money, but they make work for others and keep me sane.
Eye-Gaze devices track eye movements and they turn them into words, letting people with ALS type or speak with their eyes alone. And for many, this is an absolute lifeline. But these systems only work in controlled lighting. Any kind of bright sunlight or glare can throw off the senses completely. And this meant Brad couldn't sit outside to watch his kids play. And if he did, he lost his only way to communicate. As he described it, it was like being Batman trapped in a dark room, powerful, but absolutely cut off from the world. Eye-Gaze is very slow and sensitive, often taking minutes to type a single sentence, and tired or drifting eyes can disrupt everything, making communication frustrating and exhausting.
Eye-Gaze? Oh, it was like texting with my eyebrows. Effective, but I looked ridiculous.
So the way, I don't know if you're familiar with the way the Eye-Gaze works, but most Eye-Gaze technologies use the back of your retina that bounces light, similar to a remote control. Remote control doesn't work if you're around the corner from the TV generally. So you need to have a direct line. So it uses that infrared light and it bounces off the back of the retina in Brad's eyes. So when we go outside in a brighter light,
Yeah, it's like trying to signal aliens with a flashlight. Gotta have that direct line.
our pupils change size because it's trying to close out a little bit more of the light because it's not too bright, so we can interpret what's outside. So when those pupils get small enough that's not allowing so much light in, it also is small, so there's not as much area to bounce back that
Pretty much it's like
infrared
squinting
light
at
for
life
eye
through a
gaze.
keyhole, annoying but necessary.
So in the bright lights, the eye gaze is less effective because there's not as big of a target to actually get the signal back to the computer.
I need to cough. Thank you.
So Brad is coughing now? Is this what's happening?
Yeah, so he doesn't have the muscles to cough, and so the ventilator actually has a cough assist in it, so it like
Interesting.
simulates a cough with pushing a lot of air out and then back in again, and so that
So
loosens
my
up
ventilator is
what's in
basically my
his
new best
lungs.
friend handling the cough department.
And then I can take this down, and this goes all the way down into the very top part of the lungs, and then it can suck out whatever we've just loosened up.
So tell me what it was like with the Neuralink. When did you first want to get it? How did you hear about it?
Neuralink has a patient portal for interested people that opened a few years ago, and I jumped on it. I was following closely. It was a huge win that had happened in Arizona near where I live. I got an email in early 2024 from a Neuralink representative,
Okay.
and I started a campaign of shameless self-promotion. I really wanted this. It turns out that I was one of the first people to apply on the patient registry. So they had read about me for years. I think I was chosen because I was local to the hospital and I was technical with computers. I could not be patient 2 because I am on a ventilator. They had to wait until the FDA report on patient 2. But I had the distinct impression that I was the front runner for patient 3. The hospital even asked me if, hypothetically, I would be available in the first week of November. They received FDA approval in late October 2024, and I was in surgery 2 weeks later.
Neuralink's first FDA application was rejected in early 2022 over critical safety concerns, battery risks near the brain tissue, potential wire migration, and questions about safe device removal. The company spent over a year addressing these issues, providing extensive data on device stability, refining their surgery protocols, and proving the implant could be safely extracted. Federal investigations into their animal testing practices also added another layer of scrutiny. The FDA finally approved human trials in 2023, but it had very strict conditions: limited participants, continuous monitoring, and detailed reporting requirements. This lengthy process has forced Neuralink to meet vigorous safety standards and will very likely define the entire BCI industry.
What was your thoughts, Tiffany, when Brad said he wanted to get a Neuralink? Was Tiffany freaked out? Did she like it?
No.
Well, when you first talked about it, I mean, they were just starting animal trials, so it wasn't, it was a far off thing in the future.
Wow.
But like my thoughts were when you
Tiffany is
first
low
started
maintenance.
talking about it, it's like logistically, well, we could do that, but logistically, how are we going to get it done?
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, it's a company not based in Arizona, and where are they going to be doing the trials? Like in my head, we had talked about it. It's probably going to be either California or Texas, and Brad looked up different like cargo airlines, and I was calling different cargo airlines to figure out if they could transport a person, because he wouldn't mind flying if he could fly in his wheelchair where he has more support. Like,
True, I was ready to be shipped like Amazon Prime, but even cargo airlines weren't ready for this hot mess.
Yep, there was no cargo airlines that would consider taking a human in a wheelchair.
I can't believe, Brad, you were even thinking of the Neuralink, like, you know, back when they were just doing animal trials, and such a almost obscure idea. You're super pioneering with that in mind, right?
Yeah, he started thinking about it.
Honestly, I was begging to be Neuralink's test dummy. Turns out pigs weren't the only ones with big dreams.
And when you found out that you were accepted as a patient, what kind of preparations needed to go in place before the operation?
I had to do a bunch of tests and scans. 3 hours in an MRI is no joke. I also had to do a bunch of psychological tests to make sure I was not suicidal. They also had to set a baseline to make sure I did not lose intelligence or ability. All the medical work was with Barrow Neurological Institute. Neuralink is just the sponsor, and there is a clear separation between these roles. Elon Musk is not doing the surgery. He hires great people and partners, then empowers them to do great work.
Elon Musk's political evolution presents a unique challenge for brain-computer interfaces. Because while Neuralink has achieved amazing technological milestones, Musk's polarizing public persona may be undermining broader adoption. Because when half the population seems to oppose anything linked to Musk, life-changing technology risks becoming another culture war casualty. And unlike previous medical controversies around stem cells or gene therapy, BCIs have a single divisive figure as their public face.
So physically and emotionally, how's this experience been for you?
Physically, the Neuralink implant hasn't been a big deal in terms of sensation. It's just there, a tiny computer in my skull, about 5/4 tall, with 1,024 electrodes reading my brain. The surgery was quick, a few hours, but the recovery was rough. Those synthetic narcotics knocked me out for 2 days, leaving me foggy and out of it. I could feel the implant while it was healing, but not anymore. I don't feel anything now. The scar is bigger than I expected because they peeled back almost half of my scalp.
Wow.
So I feel the scar when my wife touches it. The Neuralink BCI doesn't read my thoughts, just imagine movements. I just move the cursor on the screen, so I still have to type everything I say. I am really excited to use the computer with more control. I don't feel anything when I'm moving or clicking.
When you're moving it, how do you move it? Like, do you imagine almost moving a hand, or how does it work?
After my surgery in early November, training kicked off once I got my staples out.
Okay.
And could charge the implant about a week later. It started with Neuralink engineers at my house, having me imagine left-hand movements, like wrist flicks or finger presses, while following a screen prompt. They recorded my brain signals to build an AI model that turns those signals into cursor movement on a MacBook Pro. We did tons of sessions clicking targets on the Neuralink web grid game, tweaking speed and accuracy. Later, we mapped jaw clenches for left clicks and eyebrow raises for right clicks.
Okay.
Since ALS rewired my brain. I also worked on typing, playing Mario Kart, and testing an AI chat app, all to train the system to understand my intentions. Moving the cursor with Neuralink feels like a mental version of moving my hand, but without the physical feedback. Back when I could use my hands, it was instinctive. Grab a pen, no thought required. With the implant, I imagine jaw clenches or tongue movements, and the cursor moves, but there's no muscle sensation, just intent. At first, it was clunky, like steering a broken cart, but now it's smoother, like willing the cursor to dance. It's not identical to hand movement, more like a new skill, like learning to whistle. When it works, it's a rush, like nailing a shot in basketball, but it's all in my head. Yeah, it was like teaching a toddler to walk, except the toddler was a cursor and I was the confused parent.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And do your emotions impact the Neuralink, such as when you feel tired or something like this, do you find it changes the way you can control the computer?
I don't have major emotional swings. My eyes close when I laugh, which makes it hard to do anything. Neuralink does not work well when I get tired. That seems to be consistent with all users. I have not really cried since before Neuralink. I never felt unheard. It is really nice to make people happy.
Did you speak to any of the other patients, such as Nolan or Alex, prior to getting the Neuralink? When I met Nolan in Yuma, Arizona, he was so cool. We played chess together and he won. I lost. It was very interesting to see him and to hear about his experience and just how much hope and autonomy the Neuralinks brought him in his life as well.
No, I only met them after I was chosen.
Okay.
I reached out to Nolan on X and I asked Neuralink to give my phone number to Alex.
How would you say the Neuralink has impacted your quality of life?
Someone told me that about 90% of people who are diagnosed with ALS choose to die before they get a tracheotomy. ALS basically forces you to decide how to die. I decided that I wanted to live to see my kids as long as I could define my quality of life. I defined quality of my life by my ability to be a parent and serve others. We were blessed to ask the right questions before we needed the answers. So when I fainted with respiratory failure in January 2020 and died 3 times in the ambulance, we knew what to do. Tiffany knew that I wanted to live. So I got this track and I am still here. I tell you this to give you an idea how I decided to extend my life. ALS killed me in 2020. Technology has kept me alive since then. I really think that Neuralink will give more ALS patients a reason to live. It has helped me keep up with what I think is quality of life. Emotionally, it's been a roller coaster of joy, frustration, and purpose. I'm thrilled to be a pioneer, typing faster than Eye-Gaze, playing Mario Kart with my kids, and texting from my porch feels like reclaiming my life. I told the documentary crew I'm happier despite ALS, closer to my wife, Tiffany, and a better man because of this. But there are lows. I get impatient. I want to sprint, not crawl, for future patients. My faith keeps me grounded. I feel God's hand in this, like moving to Arizona was his plan. I'm proud to contribute. Knowing my data shapes the future. It's empowering and humbling, like being part of a sci-fi miracle.
I read that you're helping guide the development of this technology. Can you let us know what this entails?
Guiding Neuralink's development feels like being a lab rat with a megaphone. My ALS experience shapes how this tech evolves, and it's both humbling and a blast. Since I'm nonverbal and fully paralyzed, unlike the first 2 patients with spinal cord injuries, my feedback is critical for making the implant work for folks like me.
Yes.
I'm constantly training with engineers, imagining jaw clenches or tongue movements to move a cursor, clicking targets on the web grid to refine AI models. I've pushed for features like a chat app that suggests responses in my AI clone voice, which I dreamed up to keep up with conversations. It's a game changer. I also built a custom accessibility keyboard for quick commands, and an app to alert Tiffany if I'm unresponsive. I was surprised how eager Neuralink is to learn from me. They were in my kitchen, cheering when I nail a target. It's empowering to know my struggles with ALS are shaping a future where others can communicate faster or control wheelchairs. But it's also exhausting. I hit walls when tired. Still, I love being part of this sci-fi mission, serving others while joking with the team. Since the implant, I have spent almost every day with the Neuralink engineers in person or virtually. I am still working on getting better with the BCI. I love this technology, and I think it will improve communication for people with ALS.
While Neuralink's immediate goal is to restore autonomy to those with paralysis, ALS, or blindness, its long-term missions extends far beyond medical restoration. The company aims to not only restore vision, movement, and speech, but to eventually unlock sensory and cognitive abilities that humans had never had before. such as seeing infrared or feeling magnetic field. At the heart of this ambition is Elon Musk's ultimate goal, to achieve symbiosis with artificial intelligence. Elon argues that a direct brain-to-AI link is essential to keep humans relevant in a world of increasingly powerful AI. In practice, this vision could enable us to directly communicate with AI. So instead of typing or speaking, we could simply think our questions and commands to an AI assistant. We could have telepathic-like sharing, so humans could share complex thoughts, memories, or emotions directly to one another, creating a form of mind-to-mind communication. Through our brain-AI integration, we could gain immediate access to an extensive database, create sophisticated computations, or develop novel cognitive capabilities, creating greater parity between human and artificial intelligence.
The engineers are pretty surprised that I jumped to the subconscious so quickly. Maybe I am just weird. It is important to say that they are learning so much about the brain with this work.
Oh, I can imagine.
We keep saying that the brain is weird. I made t-shirts because we say it so much.
And I saw this. This is one of your products.
Yep, the brain is weird. Yep.
I love it. I love it. It's amazing that you built a website using your Neuralink. Good on you.
Yes.
This is the chat app Brad gave a lot of input to with the Neuralink crew for building. So it is hearing what the conversation is around him, and then it helps come up with ideas of responses. So behind the app, there's a whole file. Maybe Brad will pull it up for you. And it's information that Brad can put in there about himself. He's taken stuff that he's written or posted on X, some of those on there, or older things from Facebook. He's written a book, so he's taken a couple of chapters from his book and put it in there as well, so it can kind of get a feel for the style of his writing and a little bit of his humor. And so some of that comes through. So you look through and there's quite a bit of information. So it talks about his church, where he went to school. I'm sarcastic and make jokes in spite of ALS. It talks about the different jobs he's had and different things. So it can pull from that information. But there's, pages and pages of writing that he's done in there.
Contributed to the app? Nah, I just told them to add insert witty remark here and called it a day.
I bet this makes it so much faster for you to communicate, Brad, having this chat app and this augmentation with AI.
Especially in a social situation where you and I are having a conversation.
Merlin's turning me into a conversational wizard.
And
Watch
he can
out.
jump
I
into
might
the
guess your next
conversation.
move.
Yeah.
Where with the Eye-Gaze or with another type of communication style, it takes just long enough that by the time he can jump in, the conversation's already moved in a different direction. And so everyone's left trying to
it's like waiting for dial-up internet to load.
I can imagine, yeah.
You're too young to remember dial-up internet.
Oh, I remember it.
Feels like watching paint dry, but with more frustration.
Oh, I can imagine.
Seriously, it's slower than a turtle on tranquilizers.
11 Labs created a voice clone that now reads Brad's written words aloud by using old recordings from before his diagnosis. It's not just robotic speech synthesis. It actually sounds like Brad.
So when you were developing this chat app and working with Neuralink on it, they used your real voice from before. What was that like when you heard your voice come back?
Hearing my old voice was surreal, like meeting a ghost from my past.
How did it feel for you, Tiffany, when you heard Brad's voice again?
There's a couple of renditions where it's like, oh, it's getting closer, and it's gotten a lot closer now. So it's kind of been fun.
So Brad, you made history with this video you edited using your Neuralink. Can you show us what you did and tell us a bit about how you did it? It's amazing.
Apple makes it easy to edit videos with iMovie. I did a decent job editing videos before ALS. I just haven't had enough control over the cursor and a decent computer before now. I wanted to make a video to answer common questions about my experience with Neuralink. It was just hard to catch up on how much Apple has changed in the 6 years since I last used a Mac. I am Brad Smith. I'm the third person in the world to receive the Neuralink brain implant. I'm also the first person with ALS and the first nonverbal, which means that I rely on it for all communication. I am making this video using the brain-computer interface to control the mouse on my MacBook Pro.
Wow.
This is the first video edited with the Neuralink, and maybe the first edited with a BCI. This is my old voice narrating this video.
There you are.
Cloned by AI from recordings before I lost my voice. I want to explain how Neuralink has impacted my life and give you an overview of how it works. I have ALS, a really weird disease that kills the motor neurons that control my muscles, but not affecting my mind.
What would you say to someone who's considering being part of this Neuralink trial in the future? What advice would you give them?
That is a personal decision, but I have had a great experience. I am really happy with the whole experience. I felt totally safe with the Barrow surgery team. I don't have any reservations. If you're interested, go to the Neuralink website and fill out the application.
While Neuralink is capturing headlines, there are other companies who are also making significant strides with different approaches. BlackRock Neurotech is one, and they have developed the Utah Array with up to 128 tiny electrodes placed directly into the brain's motor cortex. This technology has been used safely for over 7 years in people with paralysis or ALS. It enables them to control computer cursors, robotic arms, and synthetic speech. Synchron, by contrast, takes a less invasive path. Its stentrode is a stent-like device threaded through the jugular vein to rest near the brain's motor cortex. So this avoids open brain surgery completely. In clinical trials, patients with ALS have used stentrode to operate devices like Alexa and Siri with their thoughts, performing everyday tasks like turning on the lights, streaming shows, and making video calls, all with no serious complications reported in over the year.
It's fascinating as well that they might be able to cure things like blindness and all of the other use cases around that, but we'll get into that soon. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and it's the different things that they've had approved FDA even recently for this type of implant is pretty amazing. Just like for communication,
Yes.
they're going to trial putting it in a little bit different spot of the brain,
Okay.
so it can possibly decode intended speech. Brad wants to be in that study too, but
You want to be in all
one
the
or the
studies.
other. He wants, computer control
Yes.
is pretty important for him as
Yes.
well, since he can't do other things.
Of course,
Like,
yeah.
so speech isn't the only thing he wants from it.
It's amazing to watch you navigating your way around this computer. And what do you, like, I can see it all happening here, and it's fascinating. And just the way you're even to juggle between the different pop-ups and windows and pull things up.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm basically a cyborg wizard now, waving my magic mind wand over this screen.
Totally.
I'll admit, so when I first started covering Neuralink in the broader brain-computer interface space, I thought it was all a little bit sci-fi, like wires in the brain, people moving cursors with thoughts, Elon Musk proclaiming that we'll eventually communicate without speaking. But the deeper you go, the more I realize that this isn't about novelty. This is about something profoundly human. The long-term vision, it's not just about helping paralyzed patients move again, although that within itself is extraordinary. It's about curing blindness, reversing deafness, treating depression at the root level of the brain. Even memory loss, anxiety disorders, and chronic pain are all on the table.
And looking ahead, what would you love to see BCI technology be able to do?
I'd love to see BCI tech become a seamless lifeline for ALS folks, giving us back control and connection. For me, I want to speak again. Neuralink is already testing decoding imagined speech, like saying, the birch canoe slid on the smooth planks. If they cracked that, I could talk to my wife, Tiffany, or joke with my kids in real time. For others, I envision BCIs controlling wheelchairs, robotic arms, or home systems like lights and doors. So we're not so dependent on caregivers. Imagine typing as fast as I think, using AI to predict my words, or even linking with prosthetics to hug my kids. I'd love BCIs to make these standard, letting every ALS patient communicate effortlessly, even fully locked in. I dream of affordable plug-and-play implants that work without a tech team in your kitchen, scaling to thousands. On X, I've said this tech is life-changing. I wanted to give every ALS patient freedom, a voice, and a shot at feeling human again, not trapped by a broken body.
What does this milestone of you having the Neuralink mean to you personally?
It means that I am back. It means that Neuralink gives me enough control of the computer to edit a video. That is a huge jump in ability for a person with ALS. That is why P2 Alex can do CAD design work with no hands. That is why Nolan can destroy me at chess and go back to school. P4 and P5 are doing amazing things that were impossible before Neuralink. And this is the worst that Neuralink will ever be. The future is awesome.
So some people talk about the fact that we are entering a new period of time, the era of intelligence, which is a time of synergy between man and machine or woman and machine. Do you think that we'll have a future where humans will be even more merged with technology?
Absolutely, I feel it. This Neuralink implant in my head, turning my thoughts into cursor clicks, letting me game with my kids and typing faster than my old Eye-Gaze. Feels like I'm living in a sci-fi future. I'm not just a guy with ALS, I'm a cyborg, blending human will with tech to bust through my body's limits. On X, I've called myself Nerd Kudus of Borg, and it's not just a joke. This is a new chapter where machines amplify what makes us human: connection, creativity, purpose. My journal talks about controlling a computer outside in sunlight, something I couldn't do before, and building tools like an AI chat app to keep up with my family. That's synergy, and it's thrilling to think we're just at the start. This era of intelligence, I'm all in, and it's giving me hope for what's next for humanity.
Brain-computer interfaces are approaching a critical juncture because as the technology moves from a paralyzed patient to potential consumer applications, a fundamental question emerges. When do we involve healthy volunteers? The stakes extend far beyond medical restoration because by directly linking our brains to AI systems, BCIs could enable instant access to vast databases and enhance cognitive functions. This concept of a hive mind, a networked human consciousness augmented by AI, represents the ultimate application. Because imagine shared problem solving across our connective minds, or collective creativity amplified by artificial intelligence, or instant knowledge transfer between individuals. As AI surpasses our human intelligence, such integration might just become essential for our human species. Like the internet before it, this technology demands public dialogue and ethical frameworks before widespread adoption. The transition from medical device to consumer technology is inevitable, but the question is who will lead it, and whether society is ready for minds that can process like computers and connect like networks.
So there's a lot of public discord around brain-computer interfaces, and a lot of people saying, oh, the governments are going to implant us all against our will and we should be so scared, and brain-computer interfaces are going to take over and we're not going to be able to control ourselves and things like this. What's your thoughts, and what would you say to the public who fear this kind of technology?
In the end, AI is a tool. It is just an extension of the user. It is a very powerful tool, but it is on the human to understand and direct the AI. Neuralink is not in control, I am.
And Brad, you're obviously faith-driven. Faith is a big part of who you are. What's your response to people saying that BCIs are the mark of the beast?
My response is to laugh and say that they have misinterpreted the Bible. So many people are trying to mold the Bible around their beliefs rather than seek to know what God says. I am a member of a living church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We have more scriptures to support the Bible and teach about Jesus Christ. So I just laugh and share my testimony of Jesus Christ. In the opening chapters of the Book of Mormon, the prophet Nephi is shown Jesus Christ. Hundreds of years before he would be born in Bethlehem, the angel asks Nephi if he understands what he is seeing. Nephi answers with what he does know. I know that God loveth his children. Nevertheless, I do not know the meaning of all things. 1 Nephi 11:17. This is my statement of faith. In the face of what I do not know yet, I rely on what I do know. I know that God loveth his children. Nevertheless, I do not know the meaning of all things.
Absolutely. And I think that's a great response to these people. And I think people sometimes forget that we used to say that credit cards used to be the mark of the beast and that pacemakers used to be inhumane. And now we just wouldn't.
Yes.
Otherwise, if our nan or someone we love needed a pacemaker, we just wouldn't question it.
Well, and it's like the implant that Brad has, it's not reading his thoughts at all. It's right now it's interpreting his intentions to move a body part. So if somebody steals it, they might, if they could interpret the data, they might see that he's trying to move his tongue around. So it doesn't really a whole lot of information that way.
Exactly.
So.
And it's not like they can hack you or control you or anything like that.
Yes. Come check this out. This is the actual live data
wow.
the implant is putting out right there. So hackers, here you go. There's the live data that it's putting out. So good luck interpreting that.
Interesting.
Have you gotten on to Neuralink website and done the web grid?
No, I haven't.
Okay, you'll have to do that.
I will.
And try that, because that's an interesting thing to actually try and do. This is how they actually train in the beginning, and this is what they occasionally will have him do it. The engineers took all the data they got from this and put that into play in how the cursor actually moves. So as you see a box, how quickly do you move to it? When do you start slowing down before you hit the box? And they're taking the data that they're interpreting from the implant and they're using that to train the model.
How many hours a day would you say you were putting towards training?
So in the beginning, he was clicking on boxes for
hours?
We were doing hours, probably like maybe even 8 hours a day.
Wow.
Just clicking boxes.
Good on you. So tenacious,
But
right?
he wanted to. Like, it's not required in the study to do 8 hours a day. I think it's 10 hours a week or something.
Okay.
It's not the requirement.
You're an overachiever.
Well, the excitement to actually get it done and get information was... It was compelling, and he felt like he was part of a team working with the engineers.
It's a mission. You guys are on a mission together.
The excitement they had to get the little bit of data. So they'd come over in the morning and he'd be up in bed. They'd come over early enough right after the kids went to school, and they'd pile up on the bed or bring chairs around Brad's bed and get super excited when he started clicking more squares than usual. And then we'd take a break, so I could get Brad up and shower him, and the Neuralink engineers would head out for a couple of hours, go to like the coffee shop and just interpret the data that they had just collected, and then come back a couple hours later and he'd be in the chair and we'd do it in the chair. It's interesting because they wanted differences in settings. You're going to be doing it laying in bed, you're going to be doing it sitting in a chair, so we want to train in both positions. And
break time is my favorite sport. I'm a pro at napping.
But the information sometimes is different from the bed to the chair, so getting that information was important as well.
Very interesting. Do you ever think about your place in history? Because people are going to look back at your experience, Brad, and you're almost like the new age space person who's going out there and finding new planets.
I am just a guy. I am happy to share my experience with Neuralink. I still don't have a Wikipedia entry, so I'm not really part of history. Though that might be because of the political issues with Wikipedia. The most important thing I can do for history is to raise good kids. They are the biggest thing that will far outlast me. I am grateful to be a positive voice in the world. I am happy with what AI helps me to do. I think humans will be in charge for a long time.
Spending time with Brad and hearing how he connects with the other Neuralink patients, including Nolan and Alex, it really hits you. These guys are so inspiring. And they're fully themselves, witty, curious, and grounded despite their challenges. And they carry this profound belief in what BCI technology can do. Before the neural implant, Brad could only revisit life before ALS in his mind. But now with the implant, he can reflect on those memories on his own terms.
Some people want the story behind my photo with Snoop Dogg. Someone even thought it was created by AI. It is real. I worked for Skull Candy back in the day, early in my career. I was the least cool person at the company, but I did the uncool operation stuff. I made the trains run on time. We did a collaboration with Snoop Dogg, and he came to visit the office in Park City, Utah. We had to get him and his crew a bunch of food from a local restaurant to feed them. It was the most random variety of munchies I've ever seen. After he met with the executive team, Snoop was taking pictures in the headphones. I asked him for a picture, and he told me to make the Skull Candy Gang sign.
Oh, I was wondering
which he
what they
explained
was.
to be the S for skull, and the bottom made it C for candy. That is how I ended up in a photo with Snoop Dogg, flashing a gang sign in the Skull Candy conference rooms.
I love it. What a great story.
So this would have been after September 11th. Most of the study abroad programs have been canceled. And so he and a few other students kind of put together their own study abroad. And had it approved through the university.
Amazing.
And so he had to like find the contacts in the other countries and be able to get everything approved to do a study abroad.
Another example of you being a doer. Good on you.
There's our family. That we did that picture before the implant surgery.
Oh.
Had the kids dress up nice.
What do the kids think about Neuralink?
Well, they thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And Elon Musk got to FaceTime with them. None of their friends can say that.
Oh, I bet.
I mean, Abigail was 1 when Brad was diagnosed with ALS. And so Lincoln is our oldest, and he's 13 now. He was 6, probably, when he was diagnosed. And so they've kind of lived their life, like, having different abilities. Like, and our family is just different than other people's. And so it's just one more thing that, you know, we're doing that's to help Dad. And so it's not... It's like so weird to say that it's like no big deal for the kids but nobody else's dad is in a wheelchair like this. Nobody else's dad uses a computer to speak. Nobody else's dad. So, I mean, they just have enough differences already that it's just really awesome. Yeah. Great. One more thing.
Yeah. I loved that clip of you guys all in, I think you were in like a couch or something. You're all lying down together.
We're laying down in bed. So we had it projected up on the ceiling so everybody could see, and everybody lined up like 3 pigs in a bed, and they just laying on the bed playing Mario Kart.
So like what a cute family moment. It was really cool to watch.
Are you ready to have some more snack? Let's get some more snacks for you. You want some more green beans?
Mom?
Yeah.
Feed me,
eat
please.
your sandwich? Ooh, should we feed Dad too? It is time for him to eat. Should we?
Hi.
You're hungry too? Do you want to go get
Time of day.
Abigail?
Hi.
You want to you can ask her if you can have a hug.
Nice to meet you.
What?
So nice to meet you. Oh, I've heard so much about you, and I've seen you on videos.
Okay.
You like my nails? They're very pink, aren't they? You know what? Look, it matches your hair tie perfectly. We have the exact same shade of pink.
That's all.
Yeah.
Abigail had her
Matching.
fingernails done, but she picks them off.
Oh,
Do you want to show her your toes? What color are your toenails?
red, beautiful. Very nice. And that's a very nice dress. I like your dress. Very nice.
If she says you have a nice dress, what do you say?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Right there.
So this is his feeding tube?
Yeah, so because he can't swallow, he doesn't have the muscles to swallow. we do all of his nutrition and hydration through a feeding tube in his stomach. So it goes directly into his stomach, so we can put just put it right in. So today we're having kale.
What can I say? I'm a
Quinoa
deluxe
and
model,
hemp.
full circle required.
Delicious.
Nothing he would ever choose if he were eating by mouth. But, you know,
Taste buds.
if it goes right into the tube, he doesn't have to taste it. We might as well feed him something really healthy.
Yes.
Totally, totally.
So, and this just goes in through the syringe. Good. And I can push it right in.
Who needs a salad when you've got syringe cuisine? Kale. Straight up.
And obviously, lots of people would say that Brad's a hero, but you're obviously such a hero as well. How's all of this been since Brad was diagnosed with ALS?
Well, it's just
Yes.
one more role. But I look around and there's a lot of heroes that, you know, the single mom taking care of kids on her own, working full time. There's a lot of heroes that are doing more than they were set out to do, that just you kind of play the cards you're dealt. So,
And this is full time for you, or looking after?
yes, yeah.
Full time carer.
No, the kids are really good to help too.
Yeah.
So if I need to run Abigail to one of the kids to the doctor, then the boys are getting to be old enough that they can help out. But even Abigail, I mean, she's 8 and she wants to help. You know, she'll run grab the urinal, or Brad will need to cough, and she knows exactly what buttons to push on the ventilator. And Brad is like the super patient and happy to, you know, let people practice on him. So
Having such a nice conversation with your dad before, and looking at all of his technology and the Neuralink, it's fascinating. What's it like playing Mario Kart with Dad using the Neuralink?
We just got they updated and got a new one, and it can connect to his computer and the TV instead of just the TV, and we had to position him correctly to see the exact one.
Who's the best at Mario Kart?
Probably me.
Yeah?
As the film, yeah.
Does Brad ever win? Does Dad ever win?
He beat me once or twice.
And what's your thoughts about Neuralink?
It's cool.
Yeah?
There's a lot of things that it just like, this is cool to have around. And it's like, my dad's using the chat app.
I know.
And that's like, it uses AI to help him speak. It just comes up with sentences and makes it like 10 times easier to say so.
So it's a lot easier now to communicate with Dad than before?
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for having me.
yeah, thanks for coming all the way here.
It was fun. I was so happy to meet you all and share your inspiring story.
And it's an incredible experience for us to see it firsthand. So it's nice that you're able to share it with people that don't have the opportunity to see it firsthand.
Yes.
So thank you for sharing your journey with other people.
Yeah. And thank you, Brad. It was really amazing to meet you.
Thank you.
So we'll have a picky together. Oh, yeah, cheese.
Bradford's story proves this technology isn't theoretical. This is transforming real people's lives today. And that's the main thing we have to remember.
It's good to meet you.
Lovely to meet you as well. Really nice.
Yep.
Keep
Take
being
care.
awesome.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you guys. Really nice. Thanks for sharing your stories.
Thank you.
Oh, and I got you a little card.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yep. Thank you so much. Thank you.
See ya. Bye, guys.
When Brad says ALS killed him in 2020, but Neuralink gave him purpose again, we're witnessing something profound here. This is an inflection point. We need to remember that more funding for BCI technology means more stories like Brad's. More research means more paralyzed children walking to school. More public support means ALS patients having conversations with grandchildren they thought would never speak again. In merging with machines, we might just discover what makes us most human, our refusal to accept our limitations as destiny.